So yeah, basically, Bitcoin, I would call it, from my side, I would call it like a phenomenon that happens 11 years ago in 2009, 2008, when it was released, the paper by Satoshi Nakamoto, right? And it was insane when I read the paper, and you realize this model of the electronic cash system, to call it like that, which is decentralized, peer-to-peer, and emerge like a new asset class. We can call it like that. Today, you emerge a new asset class, a new digital currency, but I wouldn't call it a currency today. We can talk about more of that later, because right now I would call it like a digital commodity, actually, no? Like the gold 2.0. And the phenomenon of Bitcoin goes and is created by a process that is called the Bitcoin mining, which basically it's released every time very complex mathematical problems are solved in the network. Then it's released per block an amount of bitcoins, right? And that algorithm is called proof of work. Maybe you know that already, but I wanted to focus more on the on the on the beauty of this, because we can call Bitcoin like the perfect example of sound money, right? Because it has a limited supply demand, which is 21 million Bitcoin. Right now, these days, the amount of Bitcoins mined to the day is 18.9 million Bitcoin. So we have like 2.9 million Bitcoins to be mined in the future years. So it's interesting to see how the value of Bitcoin will grow over the next few years, and especially in these times that we have the COVID situation, that we have seen how the market crash in the traditional economy, the US stock market, the fiat currencies, even the gold. No, so it's interesting to see how the Bitcoin has performed these few months. And obviously, I don't want to get in the subject of predicting the price. I don't want to get in the speculation side of things, but I just wanted to focus more on how perfect is these systems, that it is mint, roughly every 4 years. It happened in this event called Bitcoin Halving, which the how would you say, the reward for every block, every 210,000 blocks is completed, then we have the halving, which reduce the reward of Bitcoin for the miner by half. So we started with 50 Bitcoin per block per reward, and now with this last halving event that happened 2 days ago, then it's only 6.25 Bitcoin. So what that means is pretty much that the asset it has a limited supply, but we're getting less Bitcoin per block. So in theory, the price of the Bitcoin should go up, no? As we have seen in the last 11 years, it's been a bullish trend. I agree with you. Maybe you are thinking that Bitcoin is too volatile, that Bitcoin also won't replace the the current fiat currency in a way, because it is good. It is good storage of value, the Bitcoin, for sure. Like, if you have savings in gold. But in my personal opinion, I don't think Bitcoin could replace the traditional US dollar or any other currency in the sense of using it, to pay for the services, because most of the people are mining the Bitcoin or holding it, buying it, but not expanding it. Very interesting is happening, for example, in my country, Venezuela, which is a country that has the biggest inflation in the world. Obviously, people were looking to other options such as Bitcoin, but other cryptocurrencies, kind of like Dash, which they use it because first, it's a better storage of value than the local currency, but it's also using it for paying for the service. So my main belief on all this technology is that not only you store digital currencies for, you know, hedging against the inflation or hedging against the crisis, but also that you can use it for paying for your coffee, for your internet at your house, etc. Right? I believe in that future. I believe that will happen, but it's still very early. Nevertheless, what I'm impressed is that Bitcoin, despite all these, I would say, craziness in the markets these recent months and the last 11 years, has remained very resilient. It's an asset that is very resilient to change because one is decentralized, protected by cryptography, faster, cheaper. So definitely that's the future, right? One second. Sorry. Okay. So yeah. So the effects on the previous halvings. I want to talk a little bit about the effects on the previous halvings. So basically, if you noted, it's been a bullish rally the last 11 years, basically. No. So you can see in the graphics the first halving, which was in November 2012. Obviously, the bullish run starts before fast, you know, it grows faster during the period and then continues the bullish trend. And that's been happening every time this event of reducing the reward by half goes up the price. Also, the second halving was the same in 2017, in 2016, sorry, but it grows even faster, right? I agree with you. This is very speculative assets. You shouldn't trust 100% it, nor put all your savings on this, but definitely it's a good way to hedge against the crisis. Unfortunately, Bitcoin cannot support the whole system right now. That's why most of people tend to save in gold or tend to save in other commodities. But nevertheless, Bitcoin, despite all the critics, has been the best asset performance class recently, way better than stocks or any things you might have if you invest in your portfolio, right? So my question, more than explaining you these technical analysis of the Bitcoin or what to expect, what I want to bring to you guys is that what will happen after this. So the economy is changing very fast, and what we realize with Bitcoin is that it's the first application of the blockchain, because obviously when we discover Bitcoin, then we discover how great would be the blockchain, the database, the network that holds this currency. No, so Bitcoin is the first app within the blockchain. Then obviously came other phenomena like Ethereum, which completely changed the game in a way, because Ethereum allowed, you know, this platform to build decentralized applications and start, you know, building interesting products within the blockchain to disrupt other industries. But so far, we haven't seen a good example of a currency that could replace by totally the fiat currency, you know, not yet. I think we're getting to that time. It will happen soon, I guess, but it will be a change that would imply so many things, because you see, yes, you see Bitcoin, that we can call it now like the gold, like a gold 2.0, as they call it. It won't replace, you know, the other currencies to transact. Then we see Ethereum, for example, or other blockchains are trying to build these platforms to build decentralized applications, which is very disruptive. But again, it's too early on the speed and to scale these solutions to replace the typical centralized models. And then we see examples like IOTA, which you see, which is intended to be the currency for the economy of machines. So you have them. So you see the picture. You see how everything is going to be replaced. And I think this COVID situation now, for sure, will accelerate this phenomenon. So you have Bitcoin, which is called like the digital gold. Then you have the blockchain, the other new blockchains like Ethereum, replacing and creating solutions, which is still very early. And then you see examples like IOTA, which will be down the line the example to be the economy of machines for the smart cities, IoT devices. So for sure you have like, then you see three economies, but don't forget that we still have the traditional economy still, because it's too huge, and blockchain cannot sustain the trillions of volume of transactions these days, but eventually it will. No? So my interest right now is like you have like two economies at the same time happening right now, which is very unique. Having the fiat currency, having the crypto environment with these three lines. No, the Bitcoin, obviously a new. My question to you guys, and I would like to discuss with you after I end the presentation, is how you picture this new world after all this. No, how would be the role of governments? Because on the other hand, there's been a battle between governments in the world, against this phenomenon, especially with Bitcoin, not with blockchain, because they really favor blockchain, but not pretty much these cryptocurrencies, because they have, doing transactions to money laundering. But on the other hand, you see this phenomenon to be, literally the next big thing. It already is, but it's still too early, But what I wanted to picture is how would be this role of government, especially because they have to allow innovation to happen, and they have to allow that these phenomenon grows. So what we have seen, and I'm not so sure if this is the path that we want crypto to go, is that when you see examples like Facebook Libra coin, or JP Morgan coin, or even the Chinese government trying to create a digital yuan, or we see the same in the US. These innovations are very okay, but in my opinion, won't replace what we have with Bitcoin, which is decentralized ecosystem, or decentralized economy. Because if you see these companies like Facebook or Amazon trying to build this coin, it will be centralized. So it won't be what I would like to see in the world. No? So if you have any questions that you'd like to discuss, I'm happy to answer them, or or if you want me to expand any topic, either Bitcoin or the economy, I'd love to expand it. If you can, maybe I think it's Kyle. If you can just say mute your mic, because I've been hearing the interference. If that's fine. Okay, cool. So yeah, as I was saying, that I'm excited to see what will happen in the next year, I would say, because not only the technology is running fast, but I would like to see the role of the government for this future, how to call it, for this future phenomenon, because they have been battling against Bitcoin, not for the blockchain, but definitely it will bring controversial subjects, right? To see an economy totally decentralized, that will be hard to see, because even the Bitcoin is centralized. So I think that would be challenging, no? But nevertheless, my point to you guys in this talk is that this is here to stay. This technology is definitely the future. We will see other phenomena down the line, such as trying to put these traditional assets. I wouldn't say gold, but other assets on the blockchain, so people can own a piece of it, a fraction of it, and trade it. Uh, or build a completely decentralized application that is disrupting a centralized model. And also, bring new models of the economy, especially for emerging markets. And I come from Venezuela, and definitely you will see also here in emerging. But again, my main concern is that you have or very huge corporations trying to replicate the protocol of the Bitcoin, of the blockchain, which could be good in a way because they will help the transition happening, but at the end, it's not decentralized. It's a very centralized model, as I was saying with the Facebook Libra coin project, which is the biggest one right now, I would say, or JP Morgan, or you see in Korea the Clayton. So these ones are okay, but it's still centralized. No? Even you could say right now, Bitcoin is very centralized by miners, right? So at the end, you could say maybe Ethereum is one of the currencies which is the most decentralized, but it still is not playing the complete game on the economy as a decentralized, no? Which I think is very hard. But nevertheless, I believe that will be the future in the midterm. So we'll see what happens. And yeah, I think this is very exciting times right now. Open to hear your thoughts on the Bitcoin price. If you want to play a little bit, how will be the Bitcoin price, let's say by the end of the year or after the next halving, which is in 4 years. On my point, I don't want to speculate the specific price, but I'm super bullish on the asset, and I think it will continue to grow. Even for the future next halving, which is in 4 years. The only thing is that um, it makes sense to predict that the Bitcoin price will increase. My only concern is, for example, the energy, create new ways of source of energy for, especially for the miners, and also what other asset might emerge during this time that could replace it. I believe these projects, as I mentioned before, are trying to replace Bitcoin in a way, but nevertheless will remain there, like kind of like gold is right now, So that was kind of like the idea I wanted to bring to you guys today. And if you have any thoughts, ideas, comments, happy to hear them. We can discuss it. We have like 10 minutes more. Yeah. Mm-hmm. If you have any question, happy to hear them. Happy to help you guys. I work deeply on tech, so happy to hear what you're working on as well. Oh, from where are you joining? No? Okay. Well, thank you guys for your time. Drop me a message on LinkedIn if you have any doubts about this or you want any help on technology. Happy to help you. I work on several stuff, so always glad to hear your ideas or what are you working on. Thank you very much. Thank you again, Michael, for the opportunity. And let's talk soon. Thank you. Bye.